Welcome back.
It's better. Thank you, Katrina.
That's awesome.
Hey, hey, hey.
Welcome back, everybody.
Pamela said, hey, her cheerleaders. Hey, 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 y'all.
Look, this is the only time I don't have a problem being called a cheerleader.
The enemy is Obama.
But you know that, though.
He is like.
So what we ain't going to do is play with them. We either going to shut them off and start it over, but we ain't going to sit here and just let him destroy our evening.
Right. I get it. I get it.
Because we all know this is getting past Tan's bedtime. I could be asleep.
Whatever. You got a long way to go. We won't be asleep until about 11 o'clock tonight. We got a long night tonight. Yes, the devil is a lie, Tracy.
Yes, yes.
Y'all drop those comments and those questions again, please. Because the enemy, he's just a whole bammer. You just got, hey, Dr. LaCoya. I don't know, it just froze up. And it was a whole bunch of spammers and bots and all of that craziness. Drop them questions again. Somebody had dropped the question, said she was meant to feel like she wasn't small enough. What'd you say? She wasn't small enough. Hey, Diane.
And you know, the one thing that we can do for something like that, and I think we mentioned it last week, if I'm not mistaken, or on one of the videos that we just put out, and that is, you know, you have to be very diligent about what information you let in. When we talk about guarding your heart, but you also have to guard your mind. You have to guard your spirit. You have to guard yourself. You know, we talk about going all in, but you also have to guard yourself. You don't have to accept what anybody says,
Right.
which is why we continuously point you back to the Word of God. What does God say? And we have to start, as we learn these things, we have to really take them to heart and say, look, I'm not taking what everybody say. I'm taking what the Lord say about me, about my situation, and I don't have to take what society says or what social media says or what friends say or what have you. You don't.
And you know the funny part about that, about like um like insecurities as far as your looks, or how you think, how people make you feel. The funny part about it is that it's more women on women issues than it is men, how men think of women. You would think that how is perceived is that a man does not find a certain size woman attractive, but it's more that another woman doesn't. Another woman is more critical of another woman than it is the man critical of the woman. Because if you had a conversation with a group of men, most of them will tell you basically the same thing, is that I like a woman who's just naturally beautiful, no type of extra nothing.
Feels
She just
good about herself.
confident, feels good about herself. And so I think a lot of times we project our own insecurities on other women, and we, can be the ones who's enforcing and these insecurities. And so yeah, you got to be careful with taking on
What other people think.
other people Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so guard yourself. Guard what you're allowing in
Mm-hmm.
and what you're spending time on.
Yeah, I get that all the time. All of my sisters are, let me tell you something, Latoya. All of my sisters are glamorous, for lack of a better term. Like I'm the only one that's natural. Um, they all know how to beat their face. I don't. And so when we all go out together, it's almost like y'all don't get on my nerves. No, you need to put on this. You need to. No, I don't. I do not, because I'm okay with my natural self. And so, but yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because at the end of the day, if you're not excited about who you are, then how do you expect the guy to be excited about who you are? Because to be honest, the way you portray yourself, the way you feel about yourself is shown in your facial expression, how you present yourself, your conversation, the whole nine.
yeah. And that's, I mean, it even like, I think we talked about this before too. My best friend growing up, like I was the lightest person she knew. She was the darkest person I knew. Both of us, we never had, there was never an issue with complexion when we grew up. We never had that. Like that was not our, until we got older and we started saying, well, thank God we were in. I mean, to be honest with you, all the men liked her. Like, I mean, even till today, I mean, she got the most beautiful shape. She said beautiful hair, beautiful complexion. Like, but the world would make you think that that there's a feud, or that she's not pretty enough, or she's not this. And because we didn't grow up like that, she does not buy into society, and I definitely don't buy into it. I'm like, I ain't never, as a light-skinned woman, I ain't never get no perks. Like, what them perks that y'all said we get, what they call it, light skin favor, whatever they call it, I never got it. I never got it, ever. Tracy said, why is it that some men feel intimidated by women that are educated and taking good care of themselves? Why do they not see that she can be an asset if they get together and have a connection?
That's an individual question for somebody that is intimidated. Myself am not. I got me a very educated woman.
I that's a I think that,
To me, it's how it's presented.
yeah, I think that I can't even give my opinion because it's each individual.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you this from the perspective of an educated woman. Um, I like to believe I'm educated. I'm $120,000 in student loan debt. Um, so I think that why some men could have a problem with us is because for some of us, okay, let me say this the right way. For some of us, the drive to be educated and to be a boss chick and to uh, be an overachiever comes from a very unhealthy place. And some men may not want to
hear it every day.
Yeah.
We don't have to be reminded every day that you're educated.
Yeah. It's like sometimes it's like where's that where is that drive to be an overachiever coming from? I mean, is it just something you want to do? Like, yeah, it's a case by case situation, but I can see both sides. I can see both sides.
But I can tell you this.
An identity issue, right? You're right, Chan.
Whomever you are, whichever side you're on, if you still want to be married, God still has somebody that will have grace for you in that area.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I tell people, I get it, but at the same time, you're looking for only one.
Yeah. And, a guy who's not as quote unquote doesn't have as much education, who may appear to one woman as being intimidated, if that woman has a lot of accolades and a lot of education, but then he can go and marry another woman who has even more. I think it's a case by case situation.
And it's from both sides, though. It could be how it's presented, but it can also be some things that he dealt with in the past that could trigger something, or something he just decided he no longer wants to deal with.
Tracy said they shouldn't feel like they don't have anything to offer. I think I can't speak for all, but again, I think it's yes, we were both saved before we met. I can't speak for all, but I think it's how the woman carries herself.
Yeah, it's like it's how it's presented.
It's how it's presented.
It's how it's presented to that individual, and then how he took it.
Because if a man doesn't feel like he's needed, you could mistake it as being intimidated. But it's like, you don't need me. Like, you don't. First of all, I don't know if you want me here. I don't. You seem to have everything you want and you got. Why am I here?
Yeah, it's almost like when you hear someone say, "Well, I'm a grown man." Well, you don't have to tell people you're a grown man,
right?
You know what I mean? So there's something about that statement that makes him feel he has to either defend himself or he has to justify something, and it gets to a point where, and this is with anybody, whether it's man, woman, or whomever, you'll get to a point where you feel, look, I've had enough of that situation. I'm done with that situation. Or again, it could just be a trigger that it happens when it comes up. So it just depends on what that person's past is. I just know that whomever God has for you won't be intimidated by you, regardless of how much education you have. So I would say if these people are intimidated, then evidently they're not the one.
Chan, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, it's just not your person. So Tracy, this is probably a conversation that is overdue. I think we tried to do a video on it because it was a block for me being a boss chick, having, I have a master's degree. I had a real estate license in 3 states. I have certifications. I'm a nonprofit expert, nonprofit consulting firm. Had a lot of, still do. I'm really good with money, and as far as budgeting and managing money and finances. So I knew the type of person I needed. It was not going to be a person who was not compatible to me or with me. But we got to talk about it, because if it's a hard subject to talk about, because I was there, and I know it was a part of my personal issue of being like a boss chick, being all the way up, placing myself all the way up here. And what it looks like is that if you're around a certain girlfriends, if you start dating a certain type of man, they would say, well, why are you shrinking? Why are you shrinking? Um, so yeah. So I know it's like I'm talking around this, probably something we probably need to talk in a private group, because it's a lot I want to say, but I don't want to say it here. Um uh yeah, but it is an issue. And a lot of these women, a lot of you women who have accomplished a lot, you've accomplished a lot, you've achieved a lot. um if you are measuring a man based on that, you're probably missing out. You're probably missing out. Terrence,
And that's not to say that you need to settle.
right.
And
Yeah,
see,
it's not a settling.
it's not settling.
It
That's why you got, look, this conversation is one of these types of conversations that where I say this. This is why it's so important to start with God. Because when you are doing these things for yourself in your single season, and then you decide it's time to focus on family and meeting that right person and doing those things, and now you feel like you got to settle because of what you've achieved in your single season, that's not true. But if you got God in your life and he's ordering your steps, that would put you in a better, much better position to assure that you're going to be with the right person.
But what's settling? Is settling
Because people assume settling is anybody that doesn't make as much money.
right?
They think settling is anybody that's not living a certain lifestyle.
If you have a house and he doesn't,
So
or
it's and the thing about it is, it's all about how those things are presented. In my opinion, it's all about how those things are presented from the presenter, and then how they are perceived from the person that's hearing it, that's just being presented to. And those two have to figure out where that balance is. But I think those two people is what she said earlier. It's individual basis. But at the same token, if you two don't have grace for each other in those areas, then for what I've learned up till now, then that's probably not your person. And at that point, I'm thinking it don't matter what they think. If they're not your person, who cares what they think?
yeah, yeah.
And it's not to be like I don't have a heart, but you're looking for one. You're not looking for 20 people to start comparing notes with. You're looking for one person. So if this person isn't the one, then they just been disqualified. They no longer, their opinion no longer should matter.
So I'm gonna give you an example, because I'm gonna give you an example. This might ruffle a lot of feathers. This was my perspective. My perspective. I had every opportunity. I had the money to do it. I had the capacity to do it, to buy a big old 4-bedroom single family house. My perspective, I never wanted to do that because I wanted to do that with my husband. I wanted to buy my single family home with my husband. I had enough people in my ear saying, you might not ever get married. You're gonna allow, you're gonna let, you're gonna shrink, you're gonna hold yourself back from accomplishing something that you could, because I really want a house. I mean, I really wanted a house. And you're gonna let that hold you back. My thing was this: what is driving me to get a big old 4-bedroom house with just myself? What was the drive for that? And because I like to live simple and modest, I had no reason to do it, even though I could. And so I think doing things, some of the things that we're doing as single women, the reason why men are being turned off, you're looking at it as being intimidated, but the reason why they're turned off is because there's a drive, there's an attitude that they're seeing that they just don't like. Now we can mistake it and mislabel it as intimidation, but yeah. Most Black people on YouTube got mental health problems. You too, Winston? You on YouTube? So, yeah. So the man being intimidated is, yeah. She said, "What if Jill? What if you had children and Terrence didn't? Would you sign a prenup?" Huh?
See, that question don't even make sense. What does a prenup got to do with children?
Miss Erica, you said, wait, intimidated by what? I think the question is that if a woman has achieved a lot, she's highly educated, and it seems like this is what Tracy is saying, and it seems like, a lot of men are intimidated of highly educated and I guess accomplished women. And it is definitely a case by case. And I think we've said we've made that an argument that has literally separated the Black community, men and women.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. Just being me, it is. It's very, very. A lot of people don't realize is when they, um, when they achieve, they do get. A lot of people do get cocky and arrogant, and they don't realize that it shows. It's almost like you're hiding behind your stuff. Yeah, Tracy, it doesn't, but but sometimes we don't realize how it comes across. We don't. So for instance, um in 2006, I was working a federal government job, making at that time right at six figures. I had just graduated from grad school. I was in grad school in the back of the classroom, in the back of my business classes. I was in the back studying for my real estate exam. I achieved my real estate license, and 2000, was it 2006? Yes, I was, 2006. For Christmas, I wanted to buy my dream car, my BMW. And me and my mother and my sister, my sister and my mom drove me to the BMW dealer. And within 1 hour, I drove off the lot with my 2006 navy midnight blue moon top roof, my BMW. That BMW became my identity. That BMW became my identity. And right the year before Terrence, I met Terrence, or a couple of months before I met Terrence, I was moving. I was in Raleigh. I was moving. That BMW, I think it was 12 years old at the time. That BMW literally died at the junkyard. My niece and I were moving some furniture, some stuff. I was cleaning out some stuff in my apartment, and we went to the junkyard. That BMW died. And when I tell y'all, it was the best feeling ever. That BMW died. That car gave me so much problems. That car died. I called AAA. AAA took me and my niece. I said, drive me to the closest car dealer. I got to the closest car dealer, and within an hour, I drove out with a Mazda. When I tell you I was so happy to get that Mazda, when I tell you, when I realized my identity was behind this BMW. Everybody, and I was financially good, but everybody thought I had a rack of money. Like it just was just, and guess what? Couldn't get no man. Couldn't get no man. Because there was something about, if you don't come with this, and this, and this, even though I never said it, if you don't come with this, and this, you ain't gonna be able to get her. You said you feel like you're being punished at times. I think sometimes we're punishing. Yeah, Tracy, I think it's not, it's the attitude behind it. It's sometimes you don't realize that people see.
Sometimes the way you think you're presenting yourself isn't the way that it's being perceived.
Right. You might think you're humble with it. Yes. You might think you're, this stuff doesn't make me. You might think, I don't think I'm better than anybody else. But bam, it's flashed in your face. Bam, I got this. Bam, I do this.
It's no different than. What I think about this topic is this. Just like when we did a video a couple months ago, and we talked about how men misdescribe their peace when they are asking women to bring their peace. They misdescribe what they actually are asking for. I think that we can misdiagnose something, and then we give it to a whole group of people, and that diagnosis does not apply to the whole group of people. Because you still can have some individuals that think that way, but it's not necessarily the whole group. And what it's doing is it's been used as one of these topics to drive a wedge in between Black men and Black women.
Yeah.
And rather than we sit down as groups and discuss it and get to the root of it, we just keep using it as a weapon against one another, and it's just driving us further and further apart. And what happens is, now that you are in an area where of your life where you're saying, I want to be married, I'm looking for my God-ordained husband, guess what? There are some people you're going to meet that might be on the other side of this conversation we're having now. And that's what you're seeing is standing out, because why? You're looking for your husband. But at the end of the day, you're going to be okay because God has already got you. Yeah. And I can only say, rather than spend time worrying about those that think a certain way, just know that they probably not the one for you, or God would have already given them grace in that area for you, and that wouldn't even be a concern. Yeah. Go past that, because what you can do is spend a lot of weeks, a lot of time focusing on something that brings a negative expression out of you, which could also be pushing people away. Because they can read your expression and be like, oh, she don't look like she want to be talked to, spoken to today. And you're thinking about something else. You ain't even thinking about the person that's watching you or the person that see you. So don't let that put you in a bad headspace to where you're repelling people versus attracting them.
Yeah. 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 The flip side of it is that what you want me to do? Throw my degrees away? Like, yeah, like what you want me to, what you want, what you want?
I mean, it's like I don't tell people I'm a veteran.
Right.
Most of the time they ask me.
Yeah.
Unless I got on some of the hat or the shirt or something, but usually most people will ask me. A woman asked the other day and was at the restaurant if I was a veteran. I didn't tell her I was a veteran. She just asked me if I was.
Yeah. I think we both do a good job of not wearing
we don't put our identity in our
things or our education or listen, we in a 2-bedroom apartment until further notice. Like, we don't put our and then let me just be honest. I just became aware of it within the last 10 years that I was putting some of my accomplishments as part of my identity. And that's why I always say to women, so if you built this big, beautiful brand, now while you single, if that brand ain't sellable or, and you can't transfer to, your daughter or your niece or, you might have problems. You might think you're shrinking when it comes to marriage because what about y'all assignment together? I built a whole brand, the Savvy Servant, big brand on Instagram. Everybody knew me as the chick. Anybody who wanted to start a nonprofit, they knew to come to Jill. I got a master's degree in it. Anybody who wants to start a nonprofit, private foundation, or public charity, they knew to come to Jill. That was the brand I built on Instagram, the Savvy Servant. A year before Terrence came in my life, I felt it in my spirit. Start pulling that brand down. Start pulling it down. And I had so many social media friends saying, you sure you want to stop going live? You sure you want to do that? Something in my spirit say, start pulling it back. It's time to start pulling it back. And the business now, we still have it. And the business, the acronym is TSS, the Savvy Servant. We changed it to the Smith Serve. And that business is now on autopilot. That business makes us money in our sleep. That's the way we set it up. I am no longer active in that business as far as me having to do work in it. It is set up now just to give us residual income or passive income, I should say. So, yeah. But yeah, if you're caught up in your accolades and that's your identity, your, HBCU. I'm this. I'm a HBC. I went to HBCU. I worked at one for 6 years as well. State government.
Yeah, I just think you got to just be careful what you get caught up in.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you want God to order your steps.
And you want to, yeah.
And you want to keep moving towards what you want.
And what he wants.
And I'm the type of, look, she'll tell you, I'm the type of person, I don't get caught up in a lot of stuff. I love songs. And half the songs I send to her, she'll tell you. I don't even know who sings the song.
This person said, doesn't mean that you don't have to. I want to say, she said, don't give up your brand. He can make it better when he comes in. No, my husband ain't coming into my brand. That's like him coming in to live in my house. Absolutely not. God said he going to do a new thing. A new thing.
So you just got, yeah.
But that was my preference. Do what you need to do.
To each his own.
Yeah.
But that's why we direct you back to God.
Yes. Yeah.
So you don't have to say that Terrence and Jill told you to do anything.
Yeah.
What does God tell you to do?
Yes. 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 What about a calling you haven't attained yet? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Because Lord knows the day
Yeah,
before
to each his own is correct. Yeah, you got to do what you got to do what's best for you and your boo.
yeah, because
And
look, the Lord will tell you the day before this platform got started, we had no idea.
no idea. We
It
knew
was
we
coming.
had purpose together. We had no idea what it was going to be. And quite frankly, I don't think we was really thinking about it. We wasn't, we was going day by day, day by day. I was still tripping that I got engaged.
Yeah.
I knew gifts, we knew gifts, skills, and talents, but we didn't know how God was going to use them together.
Especially in this arena.
That version of me, the savvy servant, Jill, that version of me is so, I'm such a different person than I was then. That's why I said don't rob yourself of your single season and whatever God is doing in you. Oh, it's 8:00. We gotta go. Let me tell you. Oh, we gotta go. We gotta go to the private group. But oh
I
Lord,
just saw that question.
oh
Too.
goodness. But I do want to say this again. Those of you who missed what we said earlier, we have 10 tickets. 10. You don't have to pay for them for our meet and greet in Charlotte next month. If you want to come, send us an email. And we're giving preference to those who are local in the North Carolina area, South Carolina, because we want to make sure they'll be used. So it seems like, admirable that you want to think about coming. You're coming in from California, and it might happen. But with all the stuff that's going on with the airlines and stuff, it's a possibility that it might not be able to happen for you. So we want to make sure that those that the tickets can be used. And so we don't want them to go to waste. We have like 10 left, and so we're now opening it up to those who are on YouTube. So if you want to come, you live in the Queen City, well, come on. If you want to come, email us, and we'll let you know if there's room left on the guest list. We got 10 tickets. So if you want to come, please email us. All right. We'll see you all next week. We got to get ready to jump over on the private call in a private group. And so
we'll holler.
Yeah, we'll holler. Deuces.